Hello, my name is Leah, and welcome to the NaNoWriMo vlogs that aren't actually NaNoWriMo vlogs, but happen to be writing vlogs that occur in November. Here's the deal. I love Nano. It's like one of my favorite times of year. I love participating, but this year it's just simply not going to work out. I'm in the middle of an editorial project right now, and it is due mid next week. So for the first week and a half of Nano, I'm going to be working full-time on that because I won't have time to write on top of that, I know. Or at least I might have time, but I definitely won't have the brain energy. And number two, I have a story idea and I was kind of tossing it around about it being my Nano project, but I just don't have enough outlined in it. I have like some brainstorming notes, but I just haven't gotten to the place where I normally feel comfortable actually starting a draft in terms of prepping and outlining. October has been very busy for me, and so I haven't really had the time to really just sit down and let myself just really work through what I want from the story. I don't have any of the major plot beats, which is kind of like my bare minimum whenever I start a new project. And even though a zero draft is supposed to be messy, I still like to have like guideposts along the way. That's just the nature of being a plotter. And I don't feel like I have those guideposts up and ready yet. So I theoretically could, at the end of next week, start working on that to maybe do like a half Nano, but I just think it's not gonna be enough time. And I also don't want to rush that process. That's something that I know that I struggle with, is rushing the pre-writing process, the planning, the sitting there and thinking about it, because it's hard for me to let myself, there's a person outside my window. It's hard for me to let myself feel like that's productive writing work, even though it absolutely is. So that's where I'm at going into Nano anyways. Today's November 1st. I think that was probably clear. I still wanted to do these NaNoWriMo vlogs even though I'm not technically participating, just to kind of join in on the community and also show the writing work that I am doing, because I will be doing writing work, it just won't be NaNoWriMo writing work, as in drafting work. So after I finish this editorial project, what I'm thinking of doing instead of drafting that middle grade is going back to Project Shadows, and starting my next revision for that. 2 of my beta readers have finished the book and gotten me all their feedback, which has been chef's kiss phenomenal. And then I have a couple more that are still in progress. I definitely have at least enough from the other 2 to start a revision. And then, you know, as the other people kind of filter in, I'll see what their notes kind of reinforce from the other 2, and also anything else to add to my revision like checklist. So that's my plan right now. I'm kind of, though, letting future Leah decide what she wants to do with the rest of November. For now, though, my focus is going to be on the editorial project. Today is Monday, and I got to get it into gear because I think I'm on page 90-something of 406 of the editorial project. So my goal is to get through 50 pages of that today. And then I also need to make my meal plan for the week and go grocery shopping. I did a couple like householdy chores this morning just to kind of like get the space a little bit cleaner, because it's always so much easier to focus whenever my space is clean. Today at 1, I'm also joining Danica on her channel for a live stream, and that's about it. Those are my plans for the day and for the week. Time to go get to work.
I think it is a great time to say hi.
Hello again. Today is Tuesday. I've been working on my editing work. I've gotten about 12 pages done so far this morning. Yesterday, I absolutely did not do the 50 pages that I said I was going to. Partially just because that was a little bit ambitious of me, partially because I was getting distracted, partially because I had other things to do taking up my time. Here's the thing though, yesterday evening I decided to get back, and I'm so glad that I actually did this. I decided to get back on Fiverr to double check exactly when the project was due. Turns out I think I must have given the wrong amount of days whenever I created the order because it was a custom order, and I have 2 days less than I was thinking. So, good news, I'll be done with this on Sunday. Bad news, I have to be done with this on Sunday. Based off of the rest of the work that I have to do, I basically have to do 50 pages every day from now until Sunday. Yeah, so freaking out a tiny little bit, just a tiny little bit. This morning, I got an early start, not to do work, but because my husband had to drop his car off to get it inspected, which meant that I had to take him to work. But before that, after we had dropped the car off, we went to go vote. So that was good. I got my little sticker. It's not with me, it's somewhere else. But obviously that was important to do. And then I dropped him off at work, and then I returned and have been editing ever since. It's noon now, so I'm going to go get something to eat, but I'm not gonna take a lunch break like I normally do. I normally give myself like half an hour to an hour. And when I do give myself an hour, I'm usually like cleaning something during that as well. But I'm just gonna be working through lunch. I'm just gonna get something to eat, sit at the table, and keep on working because I have many pages to get through. Wish me luck. This vlog just got put into overdrive, basically. Hello again. Today, what is today? Thursday. My hair is like half wet, so please just ignore that. Yesterday was chaotic. Okay, not really in terms of activity, but just like in my brain space. Clearly, it's carrying over a bit. So I talked about how I have an editing project that I'm working on right now for my freelance stuff, and how I am pretty slammed. Last week, I was working at like my normal pace, and it wasn't until the end of the week that I realized, wait a second, I'm very behind. On Monday, didn't get to what I needed to do, so fell further behind. On Tuesday, didn't get where I needed to, fell further behind. On Wednesday, didn't get to where I needed to be, fell further behind. And so Wednesday, I was freaking out a little bit because I just physically couldn't catch up to where I needed to be in order to turn the project in on Sunday. And the past 3 days, I've like worked basically from waking up until going to sleep. And even on Monday, I stayed up till like 1 a.m. just like editing because I was like, I need to get this done. But then last night, like kind of as I was wrapping up my work, I was like, I'm supposed to have 3 weeks to finish this project. That's like the original timeline that I gave the client. Why am I only getting 2 weeks? And I realized I was a dummy. There was an original like timeline / discussion about how the edit would go. We made some changes to that, and I ended up doing a different part of the phase first instead of doing this like line edit that I'm doing right now. And so I think my brain was still thinking in terms of what we were talking about, like in the normal order of things, in which case, yes, I would be turning it in this weekend. But we switched things around. It's a different order, and I still need 3 weeks to finish this regardless, but I only gave myself 2 weeks in the order. So I contacted the client this morning to ask for an extension, basically, just kind of explaining where I messed up, and they were totally cool with it. There wasn't a big deal, but I'm like breathing such a huge sigh of relief right now because I literally was like, I don't know how I'm going to get this done. I'm just going to not exist for the next week and just be editing full time every waking moment of the day. But now I can take a breath. I can go back to my normal pace. If anything, I can actually slightly slow down my pace because of how far ahead of my normal pace that I got with how much I've been working the past 3 days. I ended up sleeping in a little bit this morning just because I was so tired from the past 3 days and had a pretty slow start getting up and getting ready and stuff. It's about noon now, and normally I'm like up and ready to go by 9, and I was feeling guilty about that, but then I was like, you know what, Leah, no. You've definitely been working every single waking hour since this weekend, basically, so it's okay if you don't get going until noon today. We're still full steam ahead on this project, but I can hit the brakes a tiny little bit. Instead of turning it in on this Sunday, I have until next Sunday, although I'm probably gonna aim to get it in by Friday. I also, after I made that discovery last night, literally just spent the next like 4 hours cleaning the apartment because my brain just like, I think because of how chaotic my brain was being, it just wanted to like put things in order And so I like cleaned out these, oh, you can see one of them back there. The little cubby things in this like console thing, I kind of cleaned them out and organized what was in them. I had a huge pile of dishes that had been stacked up, and so I unloaded the dishwasher, loaded it back up, let it go through a cycle as I was doing other things, unloaded that, and then put the last few leftovers in there, and then scrubbed the dishes that needed to be like hand washed. I had a bucket of laundry that I hadn't folded yet, so I folded the laundry. I like went to our little storage closet over there and just sorted through things and organized things. It felt so good. It literally, I think, just settled my brain into a much more calm place after the realization and then after organizing everything, and I was like, I am at peace. So I went to bed and hibernated. Basically. But it is time to get back to the edit now, so that's what I'm going to work on. I'm meeting up with a friend at 1:30 because she is in school currently, so she has homework and also has a remote job that she does. So we're going to be doing some work together, which will be nice. And it will be nice to get out of this apartment because I feel like I've been trapped here.